I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This one's wife. Oh, look, the wine has sold out. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. With her usual predictability, this one's wife has been able to declare that her wine has sold out. Yes, wine made by somebody else that has a crappy label slapped on it, prepared by this one's wife's company, in inverted commas, as ever, has sold out. You're undoubtedly already aware of this, so I don't really need to go into the detail of what has happened. Suffice to say that this one's wife made it so that you had to buy 3 bottles of this wine, each costing $30 with a $20 shipping fee. So there was a minimum outlay of $110, which might be beyond the remit of many people who perhaps just fancied a bottle. And of course, why on earth would you want to buy 3 bottles when you don't know what it tastes like? You might have a glass and go, ugh, that is utterly rank. Oh dear, I'm now saddled with 3 bottles. You'd at least want to, you might decide that you would take the risk of 1 bottle. If you didn't like it, okay, you would write that off. Naturally, what it is about is individuals who want to have a slice of this one's wife through the purchase of her wine and are totally stupid because they fail to appreciate that you could get far superior wines for a lesser cost, but naturally they want to purchase something that is associated with a no-mark narcissist, a failed and mediocre actress, and general abuser of those around her. Yes, that's what they're purchasing. The grapes aren't touched by her. She's not involved in the process. She hasn't been somebody that has decided on how the wine would be created. No, she simply contacted the wine producer and said, "Hello, I'm this one's wife. Create a wine for me. What have you got?" And they'd looked around and they thought, well, we've got this unsold rosé slop. You can have that and stick your label to it. They're content because they're getting rid of something that otherwise they wouldn't be able to sell, and this one's wife thinks she's marvellous because now she's suddenly a sommelier. The fact is that with this wine, it's boring to note that it has apparently sold out once again. Yes, the 3rd product dropped by this one's wife and the 3rd selling out. Unless you're a dim-witted sugar, nobody is persuaded by this, because whenever the sellout occurs, and this one's wife inevitably takes to Instagram to crow about it, do you notice that there's always one thing missing? There she is, rictus grin in place, top of head missing, yup. Crowing about selling out, check. Exaggerated gestures, check. How she can't believe that it's happened again, tick. But notice what she never mentions, just how many have been sold. Never. For all we know, there could have been 8 bottles of this wine available to purchase, and Harry has bought 6, Omid Scobie has bought another, and Christopher Boozy has bought the other bottle. Whatever the number might be, we know that it's not going to be significant because this one's wife won't pay up front for the stock in significant numbers, and she hasn't got any investor interested in putting money forward to buy the stock for her. Hence, the keeping of the selling out. We also note that she wants to create this scarcity situation because in her deluded and shrunken mind, she thinks that makes her look important. Now, you may well be asking yourself a relevant question, which is, given the fact that it's quite clear that there is a scarcity situation engineered in each of these 3 drops, namely, there's very few product, if anything, actually available for people to purchase, why, oh why, oh why, does she act so thrilled when it sells out. After all, she knows that it's going to happen because there's so few product available. Even someone as unpopular as this one's wife is going to have some supporters that will purchase it. Furthermore, she could also arrange for staff, Harry, a friend, to make the purchases so it appears like it's sold out. Believe me, it wouldn't be beyond this one's wife to orchestrate that being the case. Accordingly, she's always known that it's going to sell out because there's so few product available, and she will have ensured that favourable purchasers are available. I still maintain, with regard to the first round, that there was nothing actually available to buy, and people were just sent it for the purposes of commenting upon it. Accordingly, given the fact that she knows that it's going to sell out because of the manufactured scarcity, why does she act so thrilled? Well, this is again as a consequence of her narcissism. She's delighted that the apricot spread and the flour sprinkles, oh, the flour sprinkles have sold out. And now the wine. Anybody that wasn't a narcissist wouldn't go crowing, or if they did, they would do so knowing they were only doing that to talk it up for the purposes of creating a buzz to try and sell more. They would know that they had cynically ensured that there was little stock, so a sellout situation would occur, so they could then use this as a marketing point. But with this one's wife, she is genuinely thrilled, notwithstanding the fact that it is a manufactured scarcity, because of the compartmentalization of her narcissism. She is like a child, in effect, whereby she has, let's say, created all of these cookies to sell for Girl Guides. And then, lo and behold, every single one of them has been bought. Yes, her dad purchased them, but she didn't realise that's who's behind the purchase, and so she thinks, I'm a brilliant seller of cookies. They've all been bought. It's that kind of childlike mentality that persists with this one's wife through her compartmentalization. She ensures that there is a scarcity situation in order to assert control. Namely, I create a scarcity situation, that means it sells out, therefore there's no threat to control by virtue of there being a failure. That is at point 1. Sometimes later, at point 372, the wine sells out. She doesn't connect point 372 with point 1. They are completely separate and distinct. Indeed, what happened at point 1 has evaporated into the ether. Instead, what you're then left with is, wow, look, it's all sold out. How can that be? The way that her brain is wired, her brain isn't remembering, well, it's bound to sell out, you stupid bint. We only had 12 bottles available. In her world, there could have been thousands of bottles. In fact, it doesn't matter how many bottles there actually were. All that matters is that she has sold out. Because when she has sold out, that means that she is popular. And that is what she believes that she is. So the narcissism creates a self-fulfilling prophecy for her, linked to the necessity of maintaining control, and the perceived popularity provides her with fuel. Thus, a normal person would perhaps go, well, yeah, it was bound to sell out because I engineered it to go that way. No need to get so excited about it. But for this one's wife, not only does she manipulate the situation with the manufactured scarcity to begin with, thereafter, she acts as if that never happened because in her world, as a consequence of her narcissism, it never did. And when she takes to social media to make the pronouncement of it selling out, she truly believes that this is a miracle event that has occurred, that it underpins her popularity, that she is so thrilled that this has occurred, while everybody else is either disinterested or looks at it and says, well, what a surprise, you've sold out again. You had 12 bottles, 100 bottles available. Whatever it is, you didn't have many. it isn't actually indicative of real popularity. And as I've explained to you before, this one's wife only has these limited runs because she's only playing at the business. She neither has the inclination, the energy, or the financial firepower to set up a proper business, and in the circumstances, just dips in now and again with these limited runs, which is all part of playing at running a business, because playing at it gives her the same outcome vis-a-vis fuel and control as if she was running it properly, but with far less effort. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.